Indeed. Yes, let's read this real quick. Genesis 49:1. Now remember, my brother brought out how the 12 tribes come from a man named Israel, so we call ourselves the Israelites, right? We're going to read about this tribe right here, what the blessing or the promise was for him. Let's read this.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
In the what?
In the last days.
We are in the last days. So he said there's a time period that's going to come in the end that will let you know what will happen to each of the tribes of Israel and how we're able to identify them. Understand? So jump down to verse 29, I believe. 20, read.
Verse 20, out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties.
Right. So that prophecy is going into what? The resources. Remember we read in Deuteronomy 28 and verse 48 how you would have to serve your enemies for food and bread and water for the one of all things, essentially. So those things that we just read right here, read that again. I'm finna show you, read.
Out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties.
Royal dainties, meaning sweets and food. When you read about, when you look into the history or understand the culture of Asher, they have the best food, the best foods. You understand? That's one of the prophecies that will is said on how to identify y'all in the last days, right? So jump to Deuteronomy. Get that real quick.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33 and verse 24.
Bring it up.
And of Asher he said, let Asher be blessed with children.
Let Asher be blessed with children. Why would that be the case? Why would Asher need to be blessed with children? In order to grow, right? But what was the history of what happened to the children when the Edomites came or when the enemies came? What did they do? They outcasted them, or what? They raped, robbed, and murdered the children. They tried to wipe y'all out. That's called genocide, right? When you try to wipe out a whole race of people. That's called genocide. So guess what? God said, you know what? You can't wipe out my people. I'm going to bless the seed of Asher.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
They're going to be able to have children on top of children on top of children on top of children. They're going to be able to reproduce like it ain't nothing. To the point to where the heathens put proverbs on us, right? They stereotype us for us being able to reproduce so much, right? But meanwhile, white folks, they don't reproduce like we do. They're not able to. God didn't give them that blessing. He put that upon us, right? So he said he's going to bless our seed because the so-called white man will come, rape, rob, murder the children, and sell them off, okay? So he said, y'all not going to wipe out my people. I'm going to put it on them to be able to reproduce, right, Reed?
Let him be acceptable to his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil.
And let him dip his foot in oil. That's a resource where? In Brazil. You understand? Venezuela. That's a resource that God has blessed that continent with. Yes, oil. Yep. Thank you. You understand? So we're identifying, we're identifying that this is your people because that's where you come from. You understand? We're reading it out of the Bible, right? Did you finish that, Reed?
Yep, that's it.
All right, so, Reed.
Thy shoes shall be iron and brass.
Thy shoes shall be iron and brass. You know what that's talking about? What do you put on prisoners? Shackles. Iron and brass. They would enslave the Incas. You understand? That's what that's talking about. The colonizers. Right? Go to Deuteronomy 28 real quick at verse 49. Finish it out and then go there.
And as thy days, so shall thy strength be.
So jump to Deuteronomy 28 and verse, was it 50? A nation of fierce countenance, yes.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
So remember, now we're reading about how we will have to serve our enemies for the one of all things. You just agreed yourself that all of the resources that come from Brazil, right, Venezuela, all of the resources that come from here are what? Controlled by our enemies, the so-called white man, when it was blessed and given to you and your people. You understand? So he said what? A nation of fierce countenance that would not spare the old or the young would come and enslave the people.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.